Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. Today we're going to be making this all-in-one Valentine's treat box card, which has got a little drawer here, which is the size I've made it is more than big enough to hold a few packets of mini love hearts. I will say that the way I construct this, because it's constructed in 4 separate parts, you could resize this to suit any gift that you want. So you certainly don't have to make it the size that I've made it. Just by adjusting the size of each individual panel, this can become any size box that you want. So let me show you how I put mine together. For the back, we want one piece which is 4 inches by 5 inches, and along the 5-inch side we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches. So this is the back panel of our box. Fold and burnish the score lines and cut a wedge from the tab. For our sides, I've cut 2 pieces which are 2 3/4 by 5 inches, and I've made a pencil mark 1 inch down from the top edge. And then what I've done is I've found a circle die in my stash, and I've lined the edge of the circle die up with the 2 pencil marks, and I've drawn around the outer edge of the circle die to give me the arch for the sides of the box. So I'm going to cut this one out, and then I'm going to use this as a template on my second side. For the front and the base of the box, we want a piece which is 7 1/4 by 5 inches. Along the 5-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches. And along the 7 1/4 inch side, we're going to score at 4 inches and 6 3/4 inches. Now I'm going to fold my piece along the first 4-inch score line, lay it back in my scoreboard, and I'm going to make a small notch at 1 inch and 4 inches, and this is the mark for where the aperture is going to sit for our drawer. Lay it back in my scoreboard with the 7 1/4 inch along the top. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to just make a mark with my stylus between 1 inches and 4 inches on my ruler, like so. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut between here and here, along here, down there, and along the centre fold, and that's going to create the aperture for my drawer. So you can either use your craft knife and ruler, use your trimmer, use whichever cutting method you're most comfortable with. I'm going to fold and burnish all my score lines. Then I'm going to cut away the outer corners here. I'm going to cut away this square, and at the same time I'm going to cut a wedge into the ends of those tabs. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to cut a wedge from the opposite end, like so, and then I'm going to cut up this centre score line and cut a wedge into these 2 tabs as well. So I end up with a piece which looks like this. So I'm now going to join all my bits together. So I'm going to start by adding my back panel. So I've now got my back, my base and my front. And then I'm going to add here both of my side panels. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue onto the corners of these tabs so that can keep that in place. And I'm going to add glue all the way around and sit my side panel on the top, making sure that it sits squarely. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so there we have the bare bones of our box. So we're now going to make the tray. For our drawer, we want a piece which measures 4 7/8 by 4 5/8. And what we want to do is we want to score along the 4 7/8 side 1 inch, like so. Rotate the cardstock 90 degrees or at 1 inch. Rotate the cardstock 90 degrees, score at 1 inch. Rotate the cardstock 90 degrees, score at 1 inch. Fold and thoroughly burnish along the 4 5/8 side. We want to cut up the first score line and then cut a wedge from the right hand square. Cut up the score line this side. Cut a wedge from the tab. Rotate the cardstock and do exactly the same on the other side. And as we would with any other box we were constructing, we're going to add glue to the tabs. Make sure that we get a nice right angle and construct our tray. And we should find that because we've cut our width and our depth of our tray by 1/8 of an inch less, it fits nicely into the front of the box. If you're happy with how the front of your box sits, that's fine. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut an additional piece of cardstock, which is 1 1/4 by 3 1/2, and I'm going to adhere that to the front of my box. So there will be an overhang on the two sides and an overhang at the top. And the overhang is just going to create a stopper. And then this will sit in the front and will act as a stopper. So that's the front of the box. To complete the card section of the box card, I've cut 3 strips which are 5 inches by 3/4 of an inch, and along the 5 inch side I'm going to score at 1/2 an inch and 4 1/2 inches. Fold the end tabs over. And basically what's going to happen is these are going to sit inside the top here to create the struts on which I'm then going to adhere my decorative elements. So I've allowed a 1/2 inch tab. You can cut as many strips with different with the width of the tab to suit how many struts or supports you want inside. But basically I'm going to go for 3, and they will be the 3 supports that I will adhere my decorative elements to. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those in, and now I can continue with the outside decoration of my box. So before I get onto that, I'll just give you the things which haven't gone quite right with this. I have used a very lightweight cardstock for the base. I am going to be adding decorative paper onto the outside of this, and I will secure it with construction glue, so that will add some strength to the base. I have stuck on the inside, I cut another panel which was the same size, or it was just under the size that I needed, and I've added that to the bottom with my construction glue to add, because I was getting some bowing along this edge here, so I felt that that would eliminate that. With any of the projects that I like to do, you can resize them to suit your gift. This one, as I showed at the beginning, fits some packets of love hearts. It's meant as a little treat box, not as a gift box for anything sort of particularly heavy. If you're going to add this false front stopper, you can afford to make the aperture slightly bigger than you need, and that would then alleviate some of this pulling that I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my craft knife and make this aperture slightly bigger. So I'm going to just go ahead and just refine this gap here, decorate the outside of the box and the card element, and then I'll come back and show you the final project. Here's the finished project. You can see the drawer now opens nice and easily. I've added a removable shaker on the front, which I just made with some heart dies. And one thing I did do is, because I don't like the white foam tape edge that you get, is I went round with an alcohol marker and just coloured the foam tape in with a red pen. I probably would add some more elements in here, because you can certainly stuff the bars with as many images as you want. The papers I've used all come from this first edition paper pad, Making Memories. So I've used the papers and cut round some of the images. This love here is from a die which was included in a Stamped by Me premium magazine kit. I would wrap the little gift in some tissue, because you can, as you can see down what's inside. But I think overall I'm quite happy with how it's come out. And as I said at the beginning, because I make it in 4 panels, you can adjust the size of your panels very easily to suit whatever size box you want to make. So I hope you've enjoyed this project. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell. Until next time, thanks for watching.